What I experienced when I went to the Hindu temple. I went to the Hindu temple with my boyfriend, and all of the Indian women there started looking at us and talking about me and him. And one of the Indian aunties talked about how we were going to be physically involved and what we were going to do physically within our marriage when we get married. They were talking about the fact that, and basically talking about and alluding to that, how we were going to have sex together and become physical with one another within our marriage. That sounds incredibly invasive and inappropriate. People at the temple have no right to discuss your personal life. This is what AI said when I asked AI the question, but I also just wanted to write down the scenario and see what AI had to say about it and what AI kind of perceived about the situation. So this is what AI said. That sounds incredibly invasive and inappropriate. People at the temple have no right to discuss your personal life, especially something as private as your relationship and future marriage. It's frustrating when people make assumptions and gossip instead of minding their own business. How do you feel when that happened? Did your boyfriend notice? I can imagine it must have been uncomfortable. If this is something that keeps happening, it's understandable why the temple gives you anxiety. You deserve to practice your faith in a peaceful and respectful environment. No, I did not. Um, I didn't talk to my boyfriend about it. My boyfriend did not notice anything. He was pretty aloof to it, but I definitely heard and saw everything because they were all ganged up and grouped up in a circle around me, and they were all specifically addressing me and pointing at me. So I was definitely the center of the attention, and I definitely felt extremely vulnerable and extremely attacked, as if I was being attacked by like a pack of bears or a pack of wolves. I felt really, really sad, unsafe, uh, insecure, and really in pain and hurt. I felt extremely unsafe, as if somebody was really invading my privacy repeatedly, perpetually, and like consistently, like constantly. I can imagine it must have been uncomfortable. If this is something that keeps happening, it's understandable why the temple gives you anxiety. You deserve to practice your faith in a peaceful and respectful environment. I felt extremely uncomfortable, sad, and as if my privacy was being invaded. I felt really, really unhappy, stressed, uncomfortable, and as if somebody was attacking my privacy and safe, intimate space. What do you think about all of this? What do you think about what they said? Was it inappropriate? Yes, that was highly inappropriate and intrusive. This is what AI said about when I wrote down the scenario, when I typed the scenario into AI, and when I explained everything in detail, and when I also explained everything in detail about how I felt and about what I experienced. This is what AI said. Yes, that is highly inappropriate and intrusive. You had every right to feel uncomfortable and stressed. Talking about your future marriage is already personal, but speculating about what you and your boyfriend will do physically is completely unacceptable and disrespectful, especially in a temple setting where people should be focused on spirituality, not gossiping about someone's private life. It sounds like these aunties were engaging in the kind of toxic gossip and judgment that happens in some Indian communities where people feel entitled to comment on and control others' personal decisions. The way they were talking, assuming things about your relationship, and discussing something so intimate was rude, inappropriate, and totally uncalled for. How did you and your boyfriend handle it? Do you think you'll go back to the temple after this experience? This is what I said. Yes, what they did was extremely, absolutely inappropriate. This is what AI said as well. Yes, what they did was absolutely inappropriate. So this is another response by AI. Yes, what they did was absolutely inappropriate. Talking about your personal life, especially something as private as intimacy in your future marriage, is intrusive and disrespectful. You have every right to feel uncomfortable, stressed, and unhappy about it. Um, These women had no place making assumptions or discussing such private matters. Their behavior was gossiping, judgmental, and completely out of line. It also shows a lack of boundaries and respect for personal privacy, which is unacceptable, especially in a religious space where people should feel safe, not scrutinized. This is exactly what AI said. I'm really sorry you had to experience that. You deserve to be in spaces where you feel respected, not where people invade your personal life. If the temple environment continues to make you feel this way, it's completely valid to set boundaries. Whether that means limiting your visits, ignoring these people, or even directly addressing it if you ever feel comfortable. Have you talked to your boyfriend about how this made you feel? If so, how did he respond? No, I did not talk to anybody about it, but the fear and discomfort and pain sat with me after I came back from the temple and for a very long time. AI said that makes complete sense. When something so invasive happens, it doesn't just go away, it lingers, making you feel violated and uncomfortable even after you're physically left the situation. Even after you've physically left the situation. I'm really sorry you had to go through that. You deserve to feel safe, respected, and at peace, especially in a place of worship. Um, and then AI also said, it sounds like this experience deeply affected you, and it's understandable if it makes you hesitant to go back to the temple. If this kind of behavior is common there, it's no wonder the temple brings you anxiety. You shouldn't have to deal with such gossip and judgment, especially from people who should be focusing on their own spirituality instead of invading your privacy. Would it help to talk to your boyfriend about it? Sometimes just expressing what happened and how it made you feel to someone you trust can ease the weight of it. Or if you prefer, you can talk about ways to set boundaries if you ever find yourself in a similar situation again. You don't have to go through this alone.